Some epic shots there from the second day of the Dakar Rally, the first long stage. Welcome everybody to Inside Dakar, where we closely follow Team Audi Sport as they embark on the Dakar Rally for the very first time with three cars, the Audi RSQ e-tron. Now, it has been a long stage today, over 300 kilometers, and we can't wait to hear how things have been going on. So let's cross straight out to the desert, to Hail and the bivouac, to Head of Motorsport Communications, Stefan Moser. Stefan, how are you doing? What's the atmosphere like?
The atmosphere, what we are talking about, the weather situation, it's quite cold here. We're talking about around 10 degrees outside. It was a cold day in the desert. The temperature at the track was 13 degrees. And last night we had a lot of raining around this area. And this is also something what's in fact the rally for tomorrow. But we can talk about later a little bit. So I like to say welcome back to the desert all around the world. Here we are.
Thank you very much for that, Stefan. We'll be back with you shortly with some interviews. Let's have a look at what the drivers have been through today. This is what the route has looked like. Of course, the bivouac there in Hail and the first proper long stage of over 300 kilometers, a loop around Hail, and a road section connecting the bivouac to the stages of about 180 kilometers. A stage that was rumored to be quite tough for the co-drivers. So here is a closer look at it. As I said, a loop around the city of Hail, a total of 513 kilometers today. So before we head back to Stefan out in the desert, this is a look at what's been happening out in the desert today. It was a tough second day for Audi Sport at the Dakar Rally. The new Audi RSQ e-tron proved to be fast right from the start of the stage in extremely difficult conditions after heavy overnight rain and flooding, but unfortunately all three of the Audi crews ran into trouble. Last year's winners Stefan Peter Hansel and Edouard Bollinger were fighting for the lead before damaging the left rear suspension of their car in a section with camel grass. They were forced to stop 153 kilometers into the stage and had to wait for the team's race truck to assist them with repairs on their Audi RSQ e-tron. The other two crews showed strong pace, with Matthias Ekström and Emil Bergqvist holding P2 for most of the day, while Carlos Sainz and Lucas Cruz followed in P4. However, the stage ended in a controversial way when many crews, including the two Audi teams, were not able to find one of the waypoints.
I don't know how many people were there trying to find a way. It was crazy. It was a lot of people, which, it was a little bit too much, in my opinion, because it's a pity just straight away after day two, so many people losing so much time.
So a look at the results from today. Matthias Ekström and Emil Bergqvist lost an hour and a half on today's stage. Carlos Sainz and Lucas Cruz were delayed by more than 2 hours. Stefan Peter Hansel and Edouard Bollinger had to wait for the team's race truck before they were able to continue, losing over 5 hours. Overall, Matthias Ekström and Emil Bergqvist are the best placed Audi crew after day 2 of the 2022 Dakar Rally. That was a look at what's been going on out there today. Let's go back out to Stefan Moser, and I believe you're there with Sven Quant.
Yes, Sven is beside me, and he's definitely the most experienced boss here in the bivouac. And he had a lot of experience over all the years. He's the boss of X-Rate, he's the boss of Q Motorsport. But Sven, hand on your heart, have you ever seen something like that today?
Honestly, I never had a day like this. I must say, you sometimes lose a car, or you have a problem, a technical one, or you try to repair it, but that you basically have one small crash with the car or rip out some arms, plus 2 big navigation mistakes, which we have to inquire at the moment if it's only a mistake by the co-drivers or if it's a mistake by the organizer. But to have all of this in one day is a little bit too much, even for me doing this for 30 years.
But by the way, we talk about, before we start to the Rally Dakar, that the main target is to finish at Jeddah, but this is still our target, right?
Absolutely. It's still our target to finish with the cars, that's no question. With Stefan we have to see, that's a bit more difficult. To finish, yes, but if he's can go on the ramp, it's difficult. But with the other two cars, for sure, we would like to finish, and we would like to finish as well in a good position. Let's see what comes out of it at the end.
We talk about the weather situation at the early beginning. We've heard that we have some changes tomorrow. Could you explain a little bit about what's happened tomorrow?
Yes, actually that was something very funny because I forecasted this already 2 days ago, spoke with the organizer, said you will see there will be lots of rain because the rain was a big forecast. And now at the moment it was raining heavily for the day for tomorrow. There's about 1 meter water where the camp should be for tomorrow night. So they had to stop the camp for tomorrow night. They had to stop the marathon. We will race tomorrow, but we will go to the next day's camp. And then the cars have to come back for the following day and do the next stage. So it's a plan of change. For us at the moment, we all have to move tomorrow morning to the as planned. But basically, we will see the cars tomorrow morning and do the normal service again.
That's what I say to you. He's the most experienced team boss, and he's also the best weatherman here around in Saudi Arabia. Thanks to you, Sven, and cross my fingers for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Back to you, Molly.
Thank you very much, Stefan and Sven. So yeah, it's been a tough day out there, but it is a long rally. Now, we like to bring you as much behind the scenes footage that we can. So here is today's backstage video of how the drivers prepare before heading out to the stages.
Try to follow the same procedure every day, same breakfast, the same, timing.
It's better to take a routine because it's when the first week pass, you are more tired.
To have a good night, for me it's really important.
We have a quick check with the engineers to be sure that we are updated about the status of the car.
And after, I don't need to have a long time of concentration before the start. Jump on the car in 1 second and I can switch on the concentration for the race.
We try to get relaxed and get inside our bubble.
The first thing you have to do in the morning is for sure to get your code from the GPS, so you know your way out to the first stage, and then also for sure you try to fill the car with water and food and all things you need.
Once we check into the stage, we have 10 minutes of peace and quiet, and that's enough to be focused and ready for action. I'm not superstitious, I have no big rituals, so I just take it as it comes.
I just put on my pocket a small thing that I use when I started with motorcycle, and when I get the first victory with motorcycle, it's like something to protect the neck, for the biker. The name is a bandana in France, and with this bandana I won 14 Dakar.
The last thing I do before I jump in the car,
What is that?
I make BP.
Oh, great to get some fascinating insights there from the drivers and their routines before they head out on these monstrous stages. And that bandana of Stefan's is something I really want to see. So hopefully, Stefan Moser out there in the desert, you can find this bandana and show it to us one day. But we have been asking for some interaction from the fans, some questions from them to you guys out there in the desert. And I believe you're there with Julius now to answer a few of them.
Yeah, right now I have no bandana, but I need it. It's cold outside. The weather situation, it's completely different what that would we expect in the desert, right?
Yeah, it can be really cold in the desert, especially at night, yeah. And we also had rain, so nothing what you expect normally.
Julius, you saw the stage today. What's your impression after a difficult day?
Our concept works. So the pace was really good. We had very good sections. Also some race incidents, but I would say normal race incidents. We are really happy that the pace is there and are very confident for the next stage tomorrow.
Okay. We announced yesterday that we will answer your questions, which you can send us over social media. And we got the first 3 questions today. The first question is very easy. How is it going to be refueling our battery in the race car?
We have our high-efficient TFSI engine on board, and this engine charges the battery so that we don't need a charging station in the desert.
We take a look at the car behind us. Will there be a production version of the RSQ e-tron? A lot of people ask me that.
A lot of people ask this question. So even here in the camp, I think you can be sure that if you ask even more, then we should think about it. And I cannot confirm today, but be sure that we will think about it.
That means this will become the first off-road supercar.
Maybe.
And the last question, are you allowed to continue the rally when you got help from a service truck on the stage? Easy answer, yes, we could. So that's from our side today. Back to you, Molly, and see you back tomorrow from the desert of Saudi Arabia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stefan and Julius. Now, we've been wanting to learn more about the Dakar Rally because there is a lot to learn about it. So here is today's wiki video. Let's take a look at the heart of the Dakar Rally, the bivouac. The bivouac is an integral part of the Great Dakar Rally adventure. It offers impressive infrastructure in the middle of the desert. A lot of people with many different roles work and live close together. An extreme office environment, you could call it, and a good internet connection can be hard to come by. For the Audi team with 80 people on site, the bivouac is a place to work, eat and sleep during the Dakar Rally. At the Dakar Rally, 2 routes run in parallel. While the competitors are on the stage competing against each other, a large convoy travels from bivouac to bivouac. The bivouac is also the place to sleep when you're in the middle of the desert. You see small tents popping up every night, either on the ground or rooftop tents on trucks. On rare occasions, motorhomes and hotels are also an option. During a marathon stage, on the other hand, the participants are on their own overnight. No outside assistance allowed, however, fellow competitors can assist each other. When there is a loop stage, the bivouac remains set up in the same place for 2 days in a row. And it is exactly a loop stage that they have been at now in Hail. But tomorrow stage 2 starts, and let's have a look at what that route looks like. So tomorrow the competitors are to make their way to the Al Artawiya bivouac through a stage that is part of a marathon stage. So stage 2 and 3, 338 kilometer special stage. But unfortunately, due to heavy rain and flooding of the Al Artawiya bivouac, the stage 2 will now finish in the Al Kasuma bivouac. But more information, I'm sure, will come on that later on. So stay tuned, watch on social media channels to find out more about what's happening. But of course, whether it happens, we can't do much about it, but just try and make some good changes and keep on racing, because the race is still on for another 11 stages. So thank you so much for watching today. We will be back tomorrow, of course, with more behind the scenes interviews and a lot more information about what's going on at the Dakar Rally with Team Audi Sport. See you then.